I was in with Julius the other day, or Julius, our cook, just with his whole problem. You know, I think I told you about that 3 years ago when I first got here. I was talking about Julius, our cook, how he had bought a piece of land for 140,000 shillings, and then see, with the land board, they want to assure, whenever land is transferred between families, that all the members of the family who are involved are in agreement with the sale, because for them land is really it's a part of their soul. To have the land, to divorce yourself from land is in almost the same way as cutting yourself off from your family and your family's heritage. So they take it very seriously when somebody sells land. Even when we went in the other day to purchase this 4 acres, Mr. Moiti had to have his brother there, and he had to have his wife, and he had to have any sons that he had, because land is passed on to the sons. So he had to have them there at the land board so that they would see that the family was in agreement with the sale of the land. And so they asked that question, well, why would you be disposing of the land at this time? Why do you need to dispose of it? What are you going to do with the money you receive? And all those kinds of questions they ask them when they're trying to sell land. Like they have to give explanation to the land board of why they're disposing of land, which is maybe not a bad thing. It's just, but it's a different way of approaching that. You just don't, when you own a land, it's yours, and you can do with it what you want. There's an accountability to the clan, and there's an accountability to the land board, etc. too. So anyway, with this the land situation, Julius, I was saying, he got into that situation where he had agreement from the husband, from the man of the house, to buy the land, and had in fact gone through initial written up transfer agreement, and had paid the 140,000 shillings had paid that to the paid the 140,000 shillings to the lawyer. Now, when the time came for him to be to get the transfer, when it came to the land board, they refused to allow the sale because the wife, one of the women, could be a second wife or whatever, because there's a number that are still polygamous, so had made protest that she needed that land to live on. So when it came down to the situation of transfer, then the land board refused to allow the transfer to take place. So Julius was in a situation now where he was trying to get his money back from the lawyer, and he was unable to do so. He first put him off again and again, tell him to come back, and this kind of thing, and then eventually Julius had to take him to court, to bring it to court, in order to try to recover his money. Now that is already 5 years ago, and since I came now 3 years ago, it's been in the courts in Nairobi, and they never even back and forth. They got dates, and then the other one made protest that somebody else should be involved in the case as a third party, etc., who had received the money supposedly, and went back and forth, until finally now then they transferred the case up to Meru from Nairobi, and now the lawyers are wanting to transfer the case over to a new lawyer up here, who we know as well. He's a lawyer from a son of a fellow from Njuguni. So with that in mind, what's going to happen now is we saw the lawyer. I went in with Julius the other day. We saw the lawyer, Mr. Aredi. He's the son of a very prominent Catholic fellow up in Njuguni Parish, Prayer House, Festus's son. So I've met him before, but you don't see him too often because you only see him when he comes home, I guess, for a little visit. But anyway, we have to say that he was very cooperative. We had to wait an hour and a half to see him because he had a late lunch. So when he came back, then right away, though, he went over maybe because I was with Julius too, and that has some weight if you're there sort of as an advocate for him, that he's not standing on his own. Eh? So I waited with him, and then when he came, he saw me there too with him, and so right away he responded to our need, and he went over to the courthouse, and at least then he had the number of the case, and the last time Julius went on his own, they said they couldn't even find the file. Eh? Well, now when we went to the lawyer and myself over, well, there the file was. There was no problem finding the file. It was there, eh? And so right away we got the file out with one of the clerks, and we went over to a Catholic bookshop and photocopied all the pertinent documents. And now then I saw the other lawyer, who is actually the MP for the area. He was up on the weekend, and so I talked to him again. I'm trying to make sure that they don't put an extra cost on Julius because they've transferred lawyers, eh? To start all over again, paying the new fellow, eh? So anyway, I've got now a letter, a little note from him that when I'm going to Nairobi, I'll be able to pick up the file from his office and then take it up to the other lawyer so that he can, because the right away got the initial date in court at least to set a hearing date. So he's really moving. He's moving quickly. I'm sure this fellow will try his best to get this case resolved now. So in that sense, I'm pleased about that. Although I hope Julius doesn't have to pay some more money in order to get the case heard. So on the February the 10th is when they go to court and to try to set a hearing date. So hopefully there'll be no more obstacles and the thing will move through quickly, and it should be a straight, easy case. The guy got the check, Julius. And Julius has a photocopy, all of this kind of stuff, eh? So it should move quickly, and the guy eventually he should have to pay the money plus 14% interest. Now I wonder what's going to happen with all that, but anyway, he's had the money for 5 years now, eh? So, and then he also has to pay, I think, 2/3 of the cost of the court or the lawyers.